Welcome to the Debian Diversity Roundtable, or it's not very round and neither a table, but nevertheless feel very welcome to be here. My name is Rhonda D'Vine. I'm part of the diversity team, and the origin of the diversity team goes back to DebConf 16, where I was approached that it might make sense to have some sort of an official body within the Debian project to create visibility and increase an inclusive environment, which we have to some extent already, because we have the diversity statement, which clearly states that Debian welcomes participation by everyone who is willing to discuss on a constructive level with each other and respectful. And the background of it was that I'm visibly queer, and some other queer people addressed me if we might not found something that is similar to Debian women to create an outreach and make it more clear that participation from a diverse background of people is welcomed. And through early discussions on IRC, we also came to the conclusion that we don't want to have queer as the primary focus of diversity, because diversity is much more than just not being hetero or cis, and it means more. And throughout the years we had a few of these sessions where Sruti brought up the point of geodiversity, of that we also need to include people from representative areas within Debian, to make it more clear that the Debian project is not a so-called Western project from Europe and America, but to make it more clear that we really want and need participation from the so-called Global South and Asia. And yeah, that's where we are, and I think I would like to have some input on ideas that people see how we can make it more visible. One thing that I usually did throughout the DebConf was the past DebConf t-shirt photo, where it was the main point of the photo was to create visibility of the history of the Debian conference, but for me I always also was looking out to have a diverse picture of people represented in the photo. So to make it more clear, and because this photo is something that also creates a certain kind of visibility within the project, but also for outside when it's used, to make it more clear that we are not a bunch of white dudes. And in that sense, we really want to thrive and live up to that, to be able to call Debian the universal operating system, to not reproduce some of the systematic discrimination that we have in all around the world, and do not want to reproduce this within the project. And so I really would like to know if some people, what their point of view of what they expect from a diversity team, what they would like to see us doing. We are, of course, in connection with the anti-harassment team and the community team, and exchanging. I had some discussions together over the time, but it needs also people that are willing to take a stand and push the effort forward and do something. So is there anyone here in the room who would like to share the input on where they might see that we could do better and where they might see that we could do some more outreach and create more visibility on our website or other areas to make it more clear?
I agree, visibility is one thing we should be focusing on. Like when you come to a DebConf, you get to see diverse people coming together. But when you look at mailing lists, what happens, like the conversations on a mailing list, you don't usually see the diversity there. So bringing up there are I know there are enough I won't say enough, but we have women DDs, women cure, all representations are there, but it's not it's not visible enough. That is one point, but we should find some ways to to make that visible to the larger public, that we are not just this, we have these many people around here. So yeah, I contested twice for DPL to just bring the diversity discussion up. We had, I think, only one woman DPL contestant before me, and obviously so all other DPLs, if I'm not wrong, are white men. So that doesn't give out the diversity kind of statement. Even though when we are saying we are diverse, we want everyone in, but somehow on the leadership level, we need to have more diverse people at the leadership level. That's what I would like to add.
That's a very, very good point. Often enough, because the leadership, I think I mentioned it last year in the session, that often enough things like classism also works into all of this. Who is able to travel to a Debian conference? Who is able to be here? Is the venue accessible enough for people to be here, to even consider to coming? Is the area we're going to safe enough for people to attend? Which is something that we really should make more clear, and that we can definitely do better. Like putting on the website of the conferences about known issues and what people should watch out coming there. In a different project I'm involved in, we had a conference in Ukraine, in Kiev, and even though we knew about why we went there specifically to create outreach, we didn't really communicate the issues of the place there. And the black members of our community were totally taken away by the whiteness of the area they moved into. And they didn't know that Kiev would be such a white space. And they looked at throughout the whole place, from coming from the airport, getting to the venue. And issues like this is something that we need to get into the minds of the organizers of events, that it might be an issue for people to travel to the conference. And representation in the leadership of teams is definitely something that we could work on. I know that we improved a lot through putting pictures from conferences on our main web page, which sent out the message that we are already a quite diverse group of people. And having this on the website was a huge step forward on that grounds, that Debian is not just a technical project, but also a community that works together to create the great project that we are. So having this view on the website of the conferences was a very, very important step to do. In kind of leadership, yes, we really, and I'm very thankful that you stood up twice and that Marga stood up before for DPL. Yeah, we just need to be there and get into the mind of the people that the role is sometimes a bit more, because it's mostly a bit of bookkeeping, which is very important because there's a lot of responsibility in that part that the leader has. And the other part that is very visible to the outside world is the representation part. And having a person that is not cis-white in that position would take a huge step forward, I guess. So, yeah. And potentially someone from a country that is also underrepresented, from an area that doesn't even has the easy access to technology, which has immensely improved over times. We had contributors from areas where bandwidth was a huge issue, and I'm very glad that this improved, but still being able to get to technology and having the possibility to participate and find the time that is needed to participate is also still something that is a barrier for a lot of people that we need to keep in mind.
Yes, definitely. Of course, one of the key things about Debian is it's meant to be a democratizing system. You know, we're out there, we're trying to improve access to the technology, and we want equal access to it for everybody. That's part of our core mission. You know, we should be able to help more and more of the underrepresented people on every access get involved. I'm a cis white male. I've been in Debian leadership for many, many years. We are, and I agree with you totally, we are desperately overdue, you know, some more visibility, some better representation that will cover the diversity that we all want. Does anybody else have any points, any questions, any comments? Who would like to be a future project leader?
I already voted for you.
Basically, the power is in your hands. It might seem scary. There is a lot to do, don't get me wrong. It can be scary, but it's also one of the most incredible jobs in the world to know that you have this huge community helping and wanting to work with you.
The leader position within the Debian project is actually the way we sort of envision leadership anyway, because there is no stick you can beat someone with if they don't do their job, because we're a voluntary project. So we only can convince people to do the right thing. And a real leader in any company or anything should be the person that convinces you to do the right thing, regardless of whether they have power over you or not.
At present, the project leader is an unpaid position, which means only some people have the resources to be able to take the time to do that. So that kind of selects against those with less privilege. So yeah, we maybe need to have another discussion about do we pay the project leader for their time?
That's a very important point. Yes, it takes a hell lot of resources to be in the position of the project leader, because you have to be able to do all these interviews and travel to conferences that they want to invite you to represent Debian and speak on behalf of. So it's something that people who take up this position have to be in a very privileged position to start out with to be able to do it. So that clearly is a limiting factor on that one. That's a very interesting point that you raised there. I think Praveen.
Yeah, I think DebConfs happening in different parts of the world already, I think, helps a lot of people who wouldn't otherwise, come to know about Debian or DebConf. I think in Kosovo, a lot of people from Kosovo, Albania, and the nearby people attended only because it was near to them. So I think we should probably try to get DebConfs happening in, different parts of the world. But then, yeah, it's not easy. Somebody has to come forward, but I think it helps.
Yes, if we take a look at Brazil, the community there is very much thriving since we had the Debian conferences, the Debian conference there. It even started to take up speed before, but having the Debian conference and having people make it more easier for people to attend to get to the conference was a very huge success. I would say that we were there, and this also was one of the key factors for me why I always stand behind that the Debian conferences should go to places where we are underrepresented, where people are not that easy to get to it, because for way too long time we just went between North American countries and Europe back and forth, and that sort of left out a huge part of the world. So I really would love to go to another Debian conference on the African continent or in Asia, and hopefully next year in India.
Yes, it's true with India. Even Indian DebConf is yet to happen, but the contributors, people are more active in Debian. You can see Indians attending DebConf. So the free software community in India was very active, but we didn't have a lot of people into Debian. We had small community, but with DebConf coming in, more people, maybe who are active in other free software communities, they are also like getting attracted to they come for organizing DebConf, but they will, once they are in DebConf, I'm sure they will stay for Debian. So yeah, that's a good thing. Like having or getting to organize an event also gets more people to stay, and more people get to know Debian through when event happens near their locality, their country.
Yeah, I really, yes, being able to attend DebConf will get you more involved, because to some degree, for once, you're exposed to what Debian community looks like, and the welcoming approach that we do throughout the conference here. And for me, my first DebConf was in Helsinki, and it was like a total game changer. When you sit together with a person for 10 minutes and talk about anything, it doesn't even have to be something specific. The next email you receive from that person, you read in a completely other state of mind, because you have sort of a feeling for the person, and through that a feeling for the background or the kind of humor the person has, and that really, really does a lot. So I can't recommend it more often enough to come to DebConf, to come to events, to learn to know people on a personal level.
Yes, totally. DebConf is awesome for building bridges, making a family, and that's how I see the Debian community. I've said I'm going to sound like a stuck record. This has been great. I've missed my big family gathering for the last 3 years, and this has been awesome. I want more people to have that feeling, more people to enjoy that sense of belonging, just getting together with friends, doing really cool stuff, whether that's doing the technical things and hacking all day, or sharing beer and a card game in the evening. It's amazing for just making people come together. So we have had DebConf in a number of places around the world. Some places are vastly underrepresented. Obviously, we're way overdue going to India with a huge community and lots of people interested. It should be awesome. I know it will be. Every DebConf is awesome. But everyone, of course, has their own ideas on how to make it even better than all the previous ones. We've only been to Africa once. I was told today that we have some people keen on running another African DebConf. I can't wait. No pressure, guys. So, what else should we be doing? What else can we be doing? How do we make people feel more welcome from all the backgrounds, from all the cultures?
So, I want to talk about one project I have in the pipeline. As part of outreach team, we are planning to have a Debian-specific mentoring program, which is not like GSOC or Outreachy, but Debian-specific. With we give specific. First, we introduce them to Debian and the Debian community and stuff. Then we get them into contributing, and that's that kind of activity. So that we plan to do in collaboration with diversity team, reaching out to larger so that we reach out to more diverse people, not just we reach out to same audience again and again, and also in connection with the local groups so that there is enough geodiversity and stuff. So that's something we have in pipeline. Hopefully we get it out, get it done soon. Anyone interested to help me with that, please contact me. I can't do everything alone. We don't have a big team in outreach. So if anyone is interested to help me. Help us with that, please get in touch. And yeah, that I was planning to have in collaboration with diversity team, local groups, etc. So that's one thing I wanted to add.
I'm very much looking forward to that collaboration.
Thank you.
Any more thoughts, inputs, questions that people would like to share? Otherwise, I would thank you all for having been here. Thanks for making Debian awesome. Thanks for staying around for short or long, or how much you enjoy it. And we are here, we will stay here, and have a nice rest of the Debian conference.